All right, this show is sponsored by PowerfulWomenUSA.com, a place to be inspired by other women. Hey, everybody, I'm Jill Conway, and this is Secrets of Powerful Women, a show dedicated to celebrating and supporting strong and successful women and sharing their stories. I am hoping that you will be inspired to pursue your own dreams, reclaim your voice, and discover your strengths. So my guest today is Lisa Taylor. Lisa is a holistic wellness coach and author of It All Begins With You, and she helps readers rediscover their innate wisdom, which I absolutely love. So, Lisa, thank you for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here.
Yeah. So let's talk first about that one thing. So we'll talk about your book. So your book is a memoir, and it's also, did you rediscover yourself in the process while you wrote it?
Gosh, so many times.
Yeah.
Layers upon layers. The book is a memoir. It's also very practical. So I have 10 chapters. At the end of each chapter is what I call a me moment. So it's something you can do when you're pulling your hair out, or everyone wants your attention, or you have 35 deadlines and you just need to pause and you just need a break. And, science backs this up. When you take a break, you're actually more productive after that break than if you don't. So there are tools that I use every single day, every single week. There are tools I give my clients, and they come from lived experience. It comes from me being in the trenches, in the mud, not knowing what to do. So that's the book.
Well, I love that. Well, let's talk just before that, because I feel like taking the me moments, when your life is happening and it gets crazy, it's very hard for women, men, anyone to do, and we forget about ourselves. So can you give us what's one me moment that you can share?
Yeah. So the one that I think is the simplest, not easiest, it's simplest, but most impactful is to stop and take 5 deep breaths. And it's hard to remember, right, when you're in panic mode. But if you notice yourself and you're in panic mode and you're moving really fast, your breath also moves really fast, or it gets short. Or for me, my shoulders come up to my ears and it constricts my breath. And so then I remember that and I'm like, oh, wait, why am I doing that? Oh, I must be tense. And I just pause for literally 2 minutes. One big inhale, one big exhale. Let's do it together, shall we?
Sure. Yes, I would love to.
I'll guide us through. Okay. So getting nice and comfortable in your seat, and we'll just take a big inhale through the nose. Slow exhale through the nose. Inhale, inflate your belly. Exhale through your nose. Inhale, expand the belly, expand your ribs, expand your chest. Exhale chest, exhale ribs, and exhale belly. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Big inhale. And a slow exhale.
I love that.
That was 5.
That was 5.
How did that feel for you?
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it feels great. I love that. I fight to take that time for myself every day. I feel like, and if you don't often do it in the morning, your day can get away from you,
Completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because I've always wanted to ask someone this question. There are things that I've seen, because I like to do, I try to do more breath work and stuff. Some people say breathe in through your nose and then out through your nose, and other people like you. And then other people say breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. So I'm always confused as to what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the body is designed to breathe in and out through the nose. However, there are moments when we become anaerobic, so to speak, where we need more breath. Imagine you're running or you're exercising in some way. Your body naturally wants to exhale through the mouth to release more and then take in more oxygen. So in a moment like this, when you're trying to calm yourself down, in and out through the nose is actually the most efficient. It warms the air, it goes directly to your brain. You probably noticed in your physical, the rest of your body, the organs slow down. It's a way to get the most amount of oxygen to the vital parts. And then there's other types of breath work that intentionally will restrict the breath, hold the breath, breathe out through the mouth to exhale more out. So I guess it depends on the purpose, but in our natural state, it's in and out through the nose.
I have to tell you, Lisa, this is the first time I've ever done that with someone, a guest. So I love it. Thank you.
Hey.
You are the first.
Yay, that's great.
Yeah. So, and I thank you for that. That I needed that. I needed that. We were having technical issues before this, everybody.
I
So
know.
it was like, I couldn't connect, and
Yeah.
everyone is. So
Jill, you
that
know
was perfect.
what? I do that with each of my clients before we start our coaching session because oftentimes they're
Yeah.
like, I was doing 25 things. And then we
Yeah.
come and sit in our session and I'm
Yeah.
like, how would you like to start? And oftentimes they want to start with breath.
Oh, I love that. Oh, very
Yeah.
nice. All right, so let's talk about your because she's a holistic wellness coach, as kind of a life coach, and also your book. It all begins with you. So you wrote this. Tell us where you were in life when all of this was going on. Because as I mentioned, bit of a memoir and bit of chaos happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of chaos.
Yeah.
So I had a period of time, all in it was probably like 11 years, but the meat of it was a chunk of years, all before the pandemic and the lockdown, actually. And then more happened. So it starts about 2015. I was married at that time. We suddenly had to move out of the house we were living in the Bay Area. There was a huge El Nino storm, which, if you're familiar with that, it's just rain and rain and rain and rain. And trees were falling on homes, and it was just a disaster, basically. And our house was part of that. So um, this divine message came through and said, it's time to move to Los Angeles. And my then husband is from LA, and we would travel there for work opportunities and family. So it was kind of a natural transition, even though I didn't want to go.
Why didn't you want to
um,
go?
I was born and raised in Northern California. I had built my business there. I had colleagues, friends, family. I was expanding and growing there. And so it felt like this disruption to that. Even though it was the right move, it just felt really disruptive. So I was very conflicted about it. We made the move. I would come back every month and visit my friends and family because I miss them so much.
Yeah.
So there we are in LA. It's a very different city culturally. It's so big. It's like expansive. You have to drive everywhere. And we get a knock on our door to our home, and we're like, we don't really know that many people. Are we expecting anyone? And it turns out it was his sister and her daughter, and it was an emergency. And we were the final stop. They didn't want to come there, but they did, and I'm grateful that they did. And so his sister had been kicked out of her mom's house, out of her dad's house. All these like really big tragedies had happened. She had lost her job. She had, lots of challenge. And so she needed help. And so they stayed with us for a couple of weeks. Her daughter was 6 years old, looked like a 4-year-old, hadn't been to school, like lots of challenges there too.
Wow.
So we said, okay, we can help you. We're going to take over Monday through Friday. I'll find her a school. We both work for ourselves. Like we have that flexibility. And mom, you go get help. Whatever that looks like for you, go find the help.
Right.
And she said yes. And then the next day she was like, how dare you? She was mixed about it too.
Okay.
She was like very conflicted.
Yeah.
But we went through with that. And it was about 9 months of instant parenting.
Wow.
Instant, the mother instinct came on for me. I hadn't given birth at that point, didn't have kids, had been around my nieces and nephews, but not in this way. And so
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I mean, talk about chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. And whether you're like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this.
Didn't sign up for this.
I'm not, when you're pregnant, you prepare.
Right. You have 9 months of preparation. This was like overnight.
Wow.
And literally overnight, I was at the parent teacher conference. Mom wasn't there. I was there. And they're delivering all this news about this kid. And like, anyways, so challenging. And very challenging on my marriage. We had been together for just like a year of marriage, and it was, me doing about 90% of the stuff with this child that was new to me, and he was over there. I learned how toxic it really was. I learned it just all came out, especially in that dynamic. So I would go to yoga. I would find ways to escape, is what it felt like. I had to escape the situation. So at the end of that period, meaning when she graduated from first grade, which she had won the Best Reader Award at that point,
Oh,
Most Improved Student, was
because of you.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
because of you. Yeah.
I decided to go through a divorce, and it was so clear that this was not the relationship I was meant to be in. And my soul was telling me that and showing me that in a variety of ways.
Like how?
Um,
Give me
like,
for the women listening, because I feel like there's a lot of women in situations like that.
I would have
Yeah.
dreams that were about like freedom, flying, quite literally. I rehired a therapist that knew me very well, who was in the Bay Area, and he would do phone consults with me, and I would share, these really deep and personal things that I felt bad about, like I felt like I was giving up this marriage. I felt like I was failing, and I couldn't share that with my friends. So I would share it with this therapist. Thankfully, he was there for me.
You feel
And
selfish, right? Because
you feel selfish.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
child involved now too. So
right.
it's like I have responsibility to her, even though, because we got very close through that process, and we're still close now. But it was just like this period of so many conflicting, a lot of external voices.
Ooh.
And so, yeah, so then the practices that I chose really allowed me to center inside in myself. And when I found that, that's when I felt peace, and things became clear. Like, you are doing this divorce. This is not where you're meant to be. And and I don't regret it. I will just say that, like, that was the most learning I've ever had in my life, and I'm grateful for him as my teacher. But
That's a
having
nice
that,
thing to say. That's a very nice thing to say.
thank you. I've done a lot of work around it, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can say that. But go through the divorce, spent a year on a healing journey, and that looked like psychotherapist every week. I had a Reiki master doing energy work on me every week. I attended shamanic healing circles. I did water fasting every month. I just went for it. I mean,
Right.
every part of me.
You were purging
Yeah,
everything. Yeah, yeah,
100%, a hundred
yeah.
percent. Because our body holds on to emotions, to energy, to words, everything. So I needed to let it all go, and it took me a year to do that. And through the process, I did an eat, pray, love. I bought a one-way ticket to Bali and stayed there for 2.5 months. That was very transformative for a lot of reasons. The biggest one was I studied shamanic healing there, connected to my ancestors who are all healers, I learned, and
Wow.
and my non-living ones, the ones that had
Right.
transitioned.
Yeah.
They delivered messages through the dream space to
Ah,
my colleagues, who then delivered it to me. Yeah, it was this beautiful exercise we did in our cohort of shamanic healing, where we all remembered our dreams for a week, and we were going to receive a message, but we didn't know who it was for. And so by the end of the week, we all get in a circle, and our teacher throws the drumstick over his shoulder, and it points at me first and the woman across from me who received the dream. And she's so excited. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I got this dream so early in the week. I can't wait to share it with you." And so we pair off, and she's this beautiful woman from Australia, and she delivers the message from my grandmother, who's in spirit form, and she says, "Now is the time." And at that time, I was still not 100% sure what that meant, um, but it was starting to show itself to me. And so I fly back to Los Angeles at that time. It's 2019. I'm still doing a lot of marketing work for people, and I decide, oh my gosh, you know what? I have to do something different. I just received all this amazing information. I just went through this massive transformation. I've got to document it and I want to share it. And that's my coaching program. So
Oh,
it's the root of it is positive psychology. So utilizing your strengths, your natural abilities, your values, and making changes from that perspective. So more about alignment to who you truly are
right.
and realizing that.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you went through a very, very difficult time. And um, when when you took this time for yourself, it's a very brave and courageous thing to do. I feel like I talk
Mm.
about this a lot on the podcast because, right, some people like that's so selfish. She's thinking of herself, right? You know,
Hmm.
it depends on the space of the person listening, right, and the men and where they're at in their life. And then other people like myself would say that's incredible. Like everyone should do that, all right?
If
Everyone
we
should have
can.
that time. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Were
absolutely.
you nervous when you decided to do that? When you went?
Yeah, I was. And I remember I shared with my sister, I'm going to go to Bali. I'm going to take this class. It's going to be so wonderful. She's like, you're not really doing that, are you?
Right. Right.
Like, watch me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So the feedback from others was difficult at times. Even
mm,
like telling certain people, not even family, but telling certain friends, "Oh, I'm getting a divorce." They're like a lot of shame,
really?
a lot of judgment. Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
why? I mean,
Their
because
own
they're in a
story.
miserable
Yeah.
relationship, so they want you to be.
Usually
Yeah.
that's the case. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that, or like a story that came from their program, their family that says
Yeah.
no to divorce and it's bad and it's wrong and
Which is so
whatever.
ridiculous. I think that is just I really do. Why stay in it when you're just miserable? What is that doing? Because you're a trooper, because you're
I know.
following rules that you didn't make, that some random man made, you know what I mean? And
Mhm,
then
mhm.
I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. It's all the man-made rules that everyone is so caught up in, and if they don't follow it, then right, they somehow get shame from others, and they want you to feel shame. And
Yes. Projection,
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. So, did you lose friendships because of that when you got divorced?
I did, and it was partially that judgment we're talking about, but partially I think I outgrew a lot of people. And that's something that happens when you go through change and you are kind of expanding yourself and growing and trying something different. Some people don't like it or just don't really align with it,
They don't
you
get it.
know?
Yeah,
They don't
they
get it.
don't.
And that's okay. They don't have
Yeah,
to.
right. Well, the right people show up. I think
And more
always,
people
right?
show up, right, that
Yeah.
are a better fit anyways. So,
Yeah. You talked about, I wrote down it, um, and it's on your website. You came up with a 5-step system, but you
yeah.
say in your book, I unlocked my own cage and I stepped
Mm.
into my new life. I love that. I love that.
Oh, thank
What did you
you.
mean by that? You just felt like you weren't living the life you were supposed to live?
Yeah. Through this process, part of my healing work was to go back into childhood, um, my relationship to my parents, my relationship to my mother has always been very tumultuous, and I didn't fully grasp why, but I learned why. And part of it was this lack of recognition from my parents. They had, 4 children. I was the youngest. I was kind of a surprise. So they already had a 1 year old running around when I was born. So there was this like lack of attention, lack of recognition that I experienced. And they did the best they can. I love them. I appreciate them, but that's just what I was born into. And so I think it was an external experience, but then I internalized it for most of my life. So I put myself in situations that were also lacking, hence the marriage.
Right.
So it was a similar dynamic, lack of attention, lack of gratitude, lack of respect. And it made me feel like I was in a cage. That was the visual that would always come up for myself. And this desire for freedom, this desire to expand, to fly, to just to not feel so tied down, I guess. Um, so when I went through that divorce and I reflected back on it, I saw how limited I was, how there was always a lack of something in my life. And so I started to give myself permission to experience something else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. I'm like mesmerized by it because I feel like, no,
Yeah.
because I feel like, so often, and I've been hearing it over and over again, is that, we don't often realize, and as you mentioned, they say, our emotions are stored in our bodies, and we don't often realize that something that happened in our childhood, and I don't mean to blame parents. I'm not doing that,
No.
but I think there is a great value in going back through your life and saying, peel the onion and say, oh, okay, this is what I felt at that time, and this is why I chose this person, or this is why these people, I'm attracting people like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
And these are all opportunities for growth. Like we did the best that we could with what we had. Our parents did the best they could with what they had. And probably if you're listening to this podcast, you want to do more, you want to do better, you want to learn from
shouldn't
others even.
everybody, like, right? Isn't that
I
what
know,
life's
but
about?
not everybody does. That's what
Yeah,
I think too. But
I know.
that's a core value of mine. Like if I'm not
Yeah,
growing, I don't know,
right.
I'm dead, I guess.
Well, I think that's what we're put on this earth for,
Yeah,
is to
I do too.
learn and grow. I mean,
I do too.
otherwise, I don't know. What's the point, right? I think, like Oprah said, the earth is a classroom, and I think that's kind of what it is, So,
Absolutely. Yeah. And I
yeah.
even think our families are our first university. It's just
Ooh, I like that.
so much
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah, right. And you know what I've said too, oftentimes you can grow up in an environment and say, "Oh, I'm gonna yeah, I want to kind of be like that. I want the same type of life." Or you can do the opposite and say, "No way. I'm never gonna live like that." You know.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I think
Yeah.
or take a little bit what you need, like what's the saying? I think take what you need and leave the rest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
way too.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a break right here because
Okay.
there's so much more to talk about. We'll be
Yeah.
back with Lisa Taylor right after the commercial break. Help me get the word out. You're listening to Secrets of Powerful Women. Share this with your friends. We'll be right back. This is so good. We'll be back. Hey, everybody. So you're listening to these conversations and you're feeling inspired. But at some point, you want to be in the room. And that is exactly why I've created something new. A new online monthly membership called the Secrets of Powerful Women Club. It's a space where this podcast comes to life. This is where we go deeper. This is where you're not just listening to powerful women, you're also connecting with them. We'll be hosting live virtual events, real conversations, Q&A sessions with the guest speakers, and building a community of women around the country and the world who are ready for more, just like you. So right now, join the waitlist and you'll get notified about when we launch, early access, and you'll get founding member pricing and priority entry when doors open. So just head to the link in the show comments or to my website, powerfulwomenusa.com, for more info and to get on the list. This podcast found you for a reason. So join the club and learn the secrets of powerful women. All right, welcome back. You're listening to Secrets of Powerful Women. Lisa Taylor is with me, and we were just talking too long in the break then I'm like, oh, we gotta go back and talk about it. So, what I was saying to Lisa is that at this stage of my life, and I'm 54, I have been so reflective over the course of my life, certainly, but much more so the last few years, and I don't understand why more people aren't doing it. And that's what we were talking about. I feel like it is so insightful,
Mm.
even to be like, why did I just react the way I reacted? Why did I behave the way I behaved? Is that really how I feel? And then why do I feel that way? So, and people, I don't know, I'm trying to spread the word. Do it. Take,
I love that you're spreading the word, Jill. I was just sharing during the break. I do that regularly. It's such a
yeah.
practice for me. I did a vision board this weekend, and part of that practice is reviewing the last year.
Mm.
What were my goals or what was I desiring? and how did I do in some ways, but
Mm-hmm.
also like, why do I want these things? Like,
Right.
and maybe even like, what's the belief underneath all of that? What will it give me? Will it provide me? Um, but I was looking through my journals as well, and I wrote
Mm.
down what I had accomplished over a period of time, which was a lot of stuff. And I tend to be that person that does something and then on to the next.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
So
Me too.
it forces me to slow down
Mm.
and analyze and ask those questions, as you were mentioning, Jill.
Mm.
Like, why did I do that? Why did I
Mm.
take that action?
Right. But also,
Yeah,
I feel like that's a good time to reflect, like, on your successes and be
absolutely.
proud of yourself, you know?
Celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, which people don't do either, and I
Yep.
struggle with that too because 'cause I'm the same
Yep.
way. I'm like, "Next, next, next. What else can I do?" Right? So,
Yep. Hmm.
but you
Hmm.
spoke about too, I mean, your vision board. So what
Oh yeah.
exactly for people who aren't listening, who don't know, who are listening
Sure.
and like, "Oh, vision boards, do they work? What are they?"
Oh
Talk
my
about that.
gosh.
Yeah.
They
I think
work
they do. I'm
so
yeah.
well.
And why? So go
And
ahead.
why? Okay.
Yeah.
So a vision board is a visual kind of graphic representation of your goals on a
Mhm.
basic level.
Mhm.
And the way that it works is our brain loves images more than words. We connect with imagery. Like, think about cave people, right? They didn't have
Mm.
words, they had images. And that's how they
Right.
communicated. And we still communicate that way, but we
Right.
have all these other ways to communicate as well. So our brain will lock onto an image, and we try to find connection points to that image. So it actually helps us in decision making. So if my goal is to plan a trip to Peru this year, as it is,
Ooh, how
I'll
nice.
start to notice when Peru pops up more, because it's
Mm.
something I look at every day on my vision board. And then I'll start to notice, that I forget the technical term, but the like red car. Once you notice one
Yeah.
red car, you notice all the red cars.
They're everywhere.
They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's how the brain works, and that's how a vision board works. And if you put a lot of intention into it, meaning like you really go into your heart and your soul, and you're like, what do I want to experience? What would
Mm.
fulfill me? What would, help me grow or reach, these different places that I want to reach at different stages of life? It
Yeah.
can be so powerful and so fulfilling.
Yeah. What do you think about this? Kind of like this similar question. What do you think about the law of attraction that people
I
talk
think
about?
it's, yeah, a similar concept.
Hmm.
Um, I think so. My philosophy is everything that's spiritual can also be validated in a scientific way with
Hmm.
proof. So I love that combination of things, because I think
Me
that's
too.
how we are as humans. Everything is
Hmm.
spiritual, everything is scientific,
Yeah. Yeah. There's no separation.
There's no separation.
Mm-mm.
So I think sometimes where certain circles, like the spiritual community, gets it a little wrong is they make it seem like it's so effortless and like
Mm.
out of thin air. But the reality is we have to take steps, we have to take action, and that's what gets rewarded as well.
Mm.
So
Right.
there's
Right. You
lots
can't
to it.
just wish for the $1,000,000, right? Like,
No.
it's, and think it's gonna pop out if you just sit and watch, like Baywatch or something. Like, it's
Right.
not gonna happen. You got to do
No,
something. You got to do
got to do
something.
something. Yeah.
Let's talk about you had talk about your life coach and you
Yeah.
shamanic healer and all these things, which I love. But you coach people, and how do you coach them through phases of their life, tough times they're having, or the next
Yeah.
steps?
Definitely. I love change, and I've learned to love it because of all the change I've been through.
Hmm.
And I'm excellent at coaching people through it, because change can often make us very uncomfortable,
Hmm.
and it can produce a lot of fear. And so what I hope to do with my clients is to help them create practices that they do every single day to keep them balanced and sane despite what comes up, despite the
Mm.
challenge, the fear, the change. So that's the baseline. And from
Yeah.
there, I mean, they can just do anything.
Right. Right.
Once you're able to regulate that, it's like, okay, I want to start a new business. Great, let's go. Here are the checklist.
Hmm.
I'm also a business owner, so I can infuse that kind of consultation into the coaching.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just amazing to see this progress. I have a few clients right now. Everyone wants to change jobs at the moment. Big surprise.
Yeah. They're not happy. Right.
They're
They're
not
not
happy.
happy. Yeah.
Right. And then, in the beginning, it's like, is it really the job? Is that what we really should be focusing on?
Right.
Or is it something else? And so
Right.
we do some exercises, get to that discovery point, and then
Mm.
we set goals aligned in the values, aligned with kind of you as a human.
Right.
Where do you shine? Let's make sure you feel really good, because then you're going to do your best. You're going to work harder. You're going to feel more fulfilled if you're using your strengths.
Mm. I
And
always ask
then,
people, how do you want to feel? Right.
absolutely.
It's like, I feel like we discount that question sometimes so much. They're like, oh no, it's not about feelings. It's like, it actually is. I mean, like, how do you want to feel in your job?
I
Right.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful question, especially if you're
Yeah.
unhappy. Like
Right.
maybe it's about what you don't want to feel first
Right.
to get to
Right.
what you do want to feel.
Right. And where's your focus? I mean,
Where's your
listen, I
focus?
always say you can, you can focus on all the good things and you can focus on all the bad things. So pick a
Mhm.
path, right?
Yep.
And you do have the five step system that helps people
Yes.
become their best selves. I can't talk right now. While finding the balance in it. So describe that five-step
Yeah.
system?
So the first part is, as I mentioned, kind of that identification of area of life that they'd
Mm-hmm.
like to focus on. We get into their strengths. From there, we set goals. We set up a daily practice, and then they get to soar. That's the fifth step, is soaring and actually like going out and
Yeah.
being this new version of themselves.
Yeah. I love that. That's
And
nice because I feel
yeah.
like, as you said, like I love change too. Like I
Hmm.
absolutely love it. I'm excited by change, and
Yeah.
not everybody feels. I have family members that, my mom for one, does not like change whatsoever.
Hmm.
Not whatsoever. I'm like, oh, but it's so exciting. The world's such an exciting place, and
Hmm.
but not everyone feels that way. I would say majority of people probably don't.
I
Because
agree.
why is that? They're just so comfortable. Oh,
Comfort is a nice place, and I get that. I
yeah,
love being comfortable too.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think it just the unknown is a big part
mm,
that I hear from clients. Like,
yeah,
well, I know this. This is comfortable. That over there, that thing I want, I don't know.
right,
What's going to happen?
mm.
So many things, right? Could happen.
Right.
So many great
Anyone's
things.
guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So
yeah,
I challenge, the question is like, what's the best thing that could happen?
yeah.
What if it all goes right?
Oh my God, best question ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if it all goes right
Yeah.
instead of it? Because everyone feels like, right, like you said, they pick up all the things that could go wrong, and it's
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh,
Hmm.
but there's the flip side of that. Maybe it
Yeah.
works out.
Ah, maybe it works
Right.
out really well, even,
Right.
like
Right.
exceeds your expectations.
Yeah. Why do you
Yeah.
think you talk about in the book too your doubts and how to
Mm.
silence the doubts
Yeah.
in your mind, and everyone struggles with this. Every successful
Everyone.
person, everyone I've ever met in my life, and everyone on the podcast have said,
Hmm.
like, even Olympic athletes, oh my God, that
Hmm.
negative voice comes in. Of course it
Oh,
does.
yeah. Yeah.
So how do you tell people to get through that?
Yeah. Well, I think understanding that it's a part of our human consciousness.
Mm.
It's that part that wants same thing, keeps us safe, keeps us
Yeah.
comfortable, avoids
Yeah.
danger. And, because the way we've evolved, it's like there were, animals that could have eaten us at some point in our
Yeah.
evolution. So
Hmm.
that little voice is still with us, and it's always going to be there. So I think I've just learned to accept that it's going to be there. It's doing its job. It's trying to keep me safe. I'm
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, voice. I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
So it's
Right.
just, I think, acknowledging it in a lot of ways.
You think that's what's one of the struggles that people have, though, is to just accept that that voice will come.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe there's this perception that, and I think this is a cultural perception in America. Um, we want to be powerful, we want to be action oriented, and that means like taking down the bad guy, or like, you know what I mean? Like there's this
Yeah.
perception of like doing away with what's negative or dark, or something we don't like,
Hmm.
versus, in the East, they acknowledge the dark sides of life. They're there.
Mm.
They give offerings to the gods that are dark.
Wow. Wow.
can we use that as an ally? I mean, for me, the darkness is the best teacher. There's so much wisdom there.
Oh, that's a tough lesson, though. All right. That's a tough lesson
Oh,
to learn.
absolutely. I mean, it
Yeah.
took years.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not easy.
You say that well-being begins at the soul level. And I
Mm,
think, I just saw something. I can't think of his name right now. He's a swimmer, a Olympic swimmer. I just saw something that come up and said mental health and physical health are so entwined, and that we don't, really think of it that way. But
yeah.
so when you can to do that, when you can get alignment with what you want and your soul and your physical body, I mean, there's a beautiful balance there that,
Mm,
again, you're teaching, and that
mm,
it's hard for people to learn.
yeah.
Yeah. What's that relationship like? I mean,
Yeah.
and the balance.
I think it takes practice. As we were saying, everything can be spiritual, everything can
Yeah.
be physical. It's just kind of having that awareness of it, maybe naming it.
Mm,
Sometimes that helps too. I
yeah.
think a lot of times we get to be really focused in our minds and we focus a lot about like what, and it's warranted. The mind is very powerful.
Mm,
But ultimately, you can control your mind. And that's where a tool like meditation is so beneficial because it allows you to step away, put some separation
mm,
between the parts of the mind, like that little voice that's like, wah,
mm-hmm.
wah, wah, I'm keeping you
Yeah.
safe,
Yeah.
versus our imagination
Mm.
and our intuition, the other
Ooh.
parts of us that are deficient, really. We don't
Yeah.
access them as much beyond
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you talk about the importance of intuition, and that's another thing where a lot of people don't even know what their intuition is. And I want to give you
Yeah.
a quote that you said: "The wisdom we seek is found within. Doing the inner work has allowed me to fall in love with myself," which is such a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful sentence.
Oh, thank you.
But talk about for people who don't know and say,
Hmm.
what is your instincts? They don't even know anymore. Is it feeling in your stomach? What is it?
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
can show up that way. It's like that first response.
Mm.
Like when someone asks you a question and you have like a "Bleh," and you want to like say it, but then maybe you hold back.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
first response, and you can feel it in your gut sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, you can feel it in your heart, maybe.
Mm.
It shows up differently for everybody. It's very, very personal. But for me, it's kind of like a knowing. Like I know the answer and it's clear. It's just a clear, sometimes no, or a clear yes, but it's like the answer is present.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
How do you teach people to listen to their instincts?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of trial and error usually.
Yeah. Yeah.
First step is to slow down. Whatever practice gets you to slow down, because that voice is very quiet.
Mm,
So teaching that, teaching meditation or breath work or whatever it is that slows you down. And then it's about listening.
mm,
So instead of like really seeking and like finding, it's just like pausing, letting it come.
mm,
So receiving an answer.
mm.
And
Some people
then,
go ahead. No, go
oh,
ahead. No,
and
no,
then I
no.
was gonna say, and then testing it out,
Mm,
like I do a fun exercise where you think of a person that you're going to meet later in the day on Zoom or in person, and you envision them and envision what they're wearing and
ooh,
see if,
interesting.
yeah, and then see if, and then when you meet them, see how accurate you might be to what they're wearing. Could be a color or a piece of clothing. And that's a fun way to test your
Oh,
intuitive
that's
insight.
cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. I feel like some people are very uncomfortable with being quiet and still.
I know. Yeah.
We're in the culture of go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. So that even sitting with themselves, some people can't do it.
I know.
Yeah. Which
Those
is,
are
I
the
feel
ones that need
like,
it the most.
yeah, yeah, it's true though. I feel like, but again, it's part of our culture. I mean, it's just like, you know, we see the videos on social media all the time, the hustle, you keep pushing, you keep going. And I kind of think it's the exact opposite of what we should be doing, you know?
And listen, I was there too.
Me too.
I have burnt out.
Hmm.
I have worked, crazy amounts of time for other people and in starting my own business. So I get that pressure and I know that feeling intimately. And once you burn out, for me, it only took one burnout to be like, nope, not doing it this way anymore. There's got to be a better way.
Right.
And yeah, but I think you are right. It's scary, I think, when you slow down because it is another form of the unknown. What am I going to hear or see? Is it going to make me uncomfortable? Am I going to have feelings and emotions?
Oh, God forbid, right?
God forbid.
Right. God forbid with being in touch with how you're feeling at any given moment. Some people don't want to do that either. They
I
just,
don't want to do that. But the risk is you don't do that and then it comes out in other ways, right? Like you explode on someone you love or a client or a coworker or something like this, or you get unhealthy physically. Your body takes it on.
Yeah, that's a big one that people don't think about, right? All the stress can dis-ease, right? We talk about the word dis-ease when you're not feeling in the flow, when you're upset about something. And a lot of it, I was just reading, obviously I'm a big reader. I was reading how all these childhood traumas and things they say the body keeps score, right? Like the book body. It can live somewhere in your body. And then if you never deal with it or let it go, it can surface in other ways, which is
Absolutely.
extraordinary to me.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Yeah.
Caroline Myss is another author that you might like. She's I think she's a PhD, and she studies the energetics of emotions and how that shows up in your body. Her stories are fascinating.
Wow.
So fascinating. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said, and I'm sure you did it. I mean, if you've done Reiki and like we talk about the chakras, but it's really the energy points in your body because we are energy, right? At the very basis of the body and science. I mean, we all know we are energy, right? And energy never dies. So, and we could talk, I mean, the science of it, which another thing people don't really realize, it's like, let's talk about energy. Let's talk about physics because you go down that path and then you're like, wait a minute. This is kind of interesting. Like this doesn't seem so woo woo when, you're talking about that. And, but I feel like it's just so important. It's just so important to find out what's going on with yourself and your body. Yeah.
That awareness, right? It can change your life.
I know. So, Lisa, tell us what you're doing now. And I mean, you obviously have the book. It came out the beginning of this year. It's doing fabulously. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
the
exciting.
book is out. Yeah. I've been hosting some pretty cool live and in-person events.
Ooh.
I know. So fun.
Yeah.
In February, I hosted an event that was called Stories and Soundscapes.
Okay.
And we did a meditation that I led. I read passages of the book, and my friend accompanied me on guitar while I read the book, which was very special.
Oh, that's nice.
And then he did a little concert after. So that was very cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. Right.
And then, so I have a couple more events coming up in the fall. And then I have my online community, which has been really special. I've been hosting weekly meditations there. So for that busy person that cannot seem to find their own time, this is a group meditation that I lead. And it's every level friendly. And it's so wonderful because oftentimes people will share their experience if they feel compelled. And you learn that we're all going through challenges.
Yeah.
And that feels really good.
Yeah. How do people find that if they want to?
It is a link I can share that you can put in our show notes. And it's a free online community. It's called The Hive Holistic. And I will share that with you so that the listeners can join us and find more resources there too. I share some articles and lots of great like-minded people.
Yeah. What if people want to work with you as a coach? Where can they find you?
I would love to work with them. My website, lisataylorholistic.com. Just there on the homepage, you can schedule a call. We'll chat. I'll learn about your goals and see if we're a good fit and help you get to where you want to go.
That's nice. That's nice. Are you writing another book or no? You think that was the one and done or?
No, I want to. I want to. That was the most fun. Writing was the most fun. I'm in the
Yeah.
marketing phase, which is different.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
different.
but
Yeah.
I want to. It's in the pipeline. I'm not sure when I'll start, but
It's
definitely.
already starting. I'm sure it's
Yeah,
already starting, right?
you're
Like
right.
Wayne Dyer used to say, it's already written. It's
True.
in there.
True.
Where are you based out of, Lisa?
I'm in Northern California. I live in Napa Valley.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, wow. So you got a
Yeah.
nice selection of wines there.
Very nice. Yes. Very, very, very blessed in that way.
If you need a break, if you need a break. All right. So I think again, the name of the book, you want to share the name of the book and where to
Yes,
find it.
it all begins with you. It is on Amazon. It is on my website. Would love to have you read it, and I would love feedback. Like, how has this impacted your life?
Yeah.
Share stories. That's always fun for me to hear.
Yeah. As you share your courageous and brave, changes that you've made in your life. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant book. All right, that's it for us. A big thank you to Lisa Taylor for coming on the show and sharing your incredible stories and insight. I absolutely love it. And everybody, I'm Jill Conway, as you know, and thank you for listening to the show, celebrating incredible women like Lisa. I hope you're inspired to pursue your own dreams, reclaim your voice, believe in yourself, and dream bigger. Your voice matters, and your story can help others. So I hope you join me next time. Share this podcast with a friend and follow us on Instagram. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.